If you ever catch yourself clicking a pen, bouncing your leg, or reaching for anything nearby just to burn off nervous energy, you already know how distracting stress can get. And when the usual fidget tools feel too flimsy, too noisy, or just not satisfying, they end up in a drawer. That is why this set of squishy stress balls is worth a look. It is a simple, low-effort calming tool that gives your hands something useful to do while helping you reset and focus. This is a multi-pack of squishy sensory stress balls designed for squeezing, fidgeting, and light sensory play. It sits in the toys and games squeeze toy category, and the listing presents it as useful for adults dealing with anxiety or focus issues, while also being appropriate for kids ages 3 and up. So the appeal here is pretty broad. Desk toy, classroom prize, therapy office bin, party favor, or just something to keep around the house when restless hands need an outlet. The main problem this solves is that a lot of people need a calming tool that works instantly and does not require a screen, a battery, or a big-time commitment. You just pick one up and squeeze. That matters if you are in a meeting, studying, working from home, sitting in a waiting room, or helping a child regulate big feelings without creating more stimulation. A soft stress ball can turn random nervous energy into a repetitive, grounding motion, and that is really the whole point here. It is not trying to be complicated. It is trying to be accessible and easy to use in the moment you actually need it. What makes this kind of set practical is the combination of multiple balls and a texture that seems to hit a good middle ground. One real review snippet says, "Not too hard to squeeze, but not too easy either." That matters because if a stress ball is too soft, it feels pointless, and if it is too firm, it can become annoying or tiring fast. Here, the benefit is controlled resistance, which can feel more therapeutic during repeated squeezing. Another reviewer described a similar one in the set as slightly firmer, which suggests there is at least some variation in feel. For a buyer, that means you are not locked into one exact sensation. If you want something for a work desk, a classroom reward box, or a therapist table, that variety can make the pack more useful because different people tend to prefer different firmness levels. In real life, this seems best suited for shared spaces and grab-and-go situations. If you are a parent, these can work as quiet indoor fidgets for kids who like squishing and sensory feedback. If you are a teacher, they make sense as prize box items or calm-down corner tools. If you are an adult, one can live at your desk, one in the car, and one in a bag so you are not constantly moving the same item around. There is also a review note from someone who said, "I'm a therapist and needed new stress balls for my table," which is a strong practical signal. And another short snippet says, "Kids are mesmerized by the squishing," which tells you the sensory appeal is a real part of the experience, especially for younger users. On the trust side, the listing shows a 4.1 out of 5 rating from 4,422 customer ratings, which is a solid sample size for a product in this category. It also carries visible badges like Amazon's Choice and Bestseller, and it ranks high in squeeze toys on the listing. Those signals do not guarantee perfection, but they do suggest this is not some totally unproven item with only a handful of reviews. The written feedback is also fairly consistent in what people like. You see comments like, "A good variety of stress fidget gadgets," and again, "Not too hard to squeeze, but not too easy either." That kind of repeated language is helpful because it points to the actual reason people keep buying it: easy sensory satisfaction without needing a learning curve. That said, this is not for everyone. If you want premium materials, a luxury desk accessory look, or something built for intense long-term daily squeezing, you should keep your expectations realistic. One reviewer specifically mentioned concern about how the balls would hold up over time, and also said the exterior seemed a little tacky or sticky. So if texture sensitivity is a big deal for you, that is something to pay attention to. It is also not the best choice if you are looking for a very discreet fidget with zero visual novelty, because these are clearly toy-like squeeze balls, not subtle office tools. My buying advice is to look at this as a value-oriented multi-pack, not a forever product. It makes the most sense if you want several stress balls for different rooms, several users, or occasional use rather than one high-end fidget. Before buying, double-check the current pack count on the listing, the age guidance, and the latest reviews about durability and texture, since the listing details shown can be a little inconsistent. If the current price feels reasonable for a shared use set, the overall value proposition is easy to understand. Overall, this looks like a simple, useful sensory set that gets the basics right. Squeezable feel, decent variety, broad everyday use, and enough review history to inspire some confidence. If you want an affordable calming or focus tool for home, school, therapy spaces, or the office, this is worth considering. If you are very picky about texture, durability, or a more premium finish, keep comparing. And I am curious, when you shop for stress balls or fidget toys, what is your biggest deal breaker? Firmness, durability, texture, or overall value?